Dr. King pushed even as on a daily basis his character was being maligned. He pushed even as his family on a daily basis was being threatened. He pushed even as his very life was in jeopardy. And toward what would be the end of that short life, he pushed even harder, drawing a straight line between racial injustice and economic injustice, demanding more for Black people, for people of color, for working people, for all people. And it may not sound radical now, it was radical then. So as we remember his life and celebrate the anniversary of this beautiful memorial, let us be guided by those same connections he made as they exist today. Racial injustice today is inextricably linked to economic injustice, to the impact of the climate crisis, to the impact of COVID-19, and to the threats to our democracy. And I believe then, knowing and seeing that, the path forward is clear. We must put people to work in good union jobs and invest in the care, the child care, the home care that people need to be able to go to work. We must reform our criminal justice system and our immigration system. We must defend and strengthen the right that unlocks all other rights, the right to vote. And as we all know, in 2013, the Voting Rights Act that Dr. King and so many others fought for was gutted by the Supreme Court decision in Shelby v. Holder. That decision opened the floodgates for the anti-voter laws we see being passed in states throughout our country today. And to be sure, we should not have to keep fighting so hard to secure our fundamental rights, but fight we must, and fight we will.
For the first time in a couple generations, we're going to be investing in working families, putting them first and helping them get ahead, rather than the wealthy and the biggest and most powerful people out there. We're investing in Black families with rescue checks and tax cuts that will reduce Black poverty by 34%, Black child poverty by more than 50% this year. And we're aggressively, with the leadership of some of the people I'm looking at right now, combating housing discrimination to create a generation of wealth. How did every other person make it to the middle class from a working class circumstance? Just like my dad did. Build equity in a house. Granted, it was small. Granted, it wasn't much. But it was enough to build a little equity. We'll use the federal government's purchasing power to unlock billions of dollars in new opportunities of minority-owned small businesses and access to government contracts. Is there any doubt that providing more people with just a little more breathing room to take care of their families, generate a little bit of wealth that they can pass on to their children, and create jobs in their communities would uplift the entire country, all the country, everyone? And as the economy recovers, we are determined and focused on rebuilding it over the long run. No one should have to hold their breath as they cross a rundown bridge to determine whether it's safe enough, or a dangerous intersection in their hometown. A nation, every American, every child should be able to turn on a faucet and drink water that's not contaminated by lead or anything else.